First Blood. Previous computer programs built to play Go had not come too close to playing competitively against even a pretty good amateur. So most pundits were highly skeptical of DeepMind's dream. How could it create code that could get anywhere near an international champion of the game? Sure. Most people still agreed with the view expressed in the New York Times by astrophysicist Piet Hut after Deep Blue's success at chess in 1997. Okay. How could it create code that could get anywhere near an international champion of the game? Most people still agreed with the view expressed in the New York Times by astrophysicist Piet Hut after Deep Blue's success at chess in 1997. It may be 100 years before a computer beats humans at Go, maybe even longer. If a reasonably intelligent person learned to play Go in a few months, he could beat all existing computer programs. You don't have to be a Kasparov. Just 2 decades into that 100 years, the DeepMind team believed that it might have cracked the code. Its strategy of getting algorithms to run and adapt appeared to be working, but it was unsure quite how powerful the emerging algorithm really was. So in October 2015, it decided to test run the program in a secret competition against the current European champion, Fang Hui. This is the news I remember. AlphaGo destroyed Fang Hui 5 games to 0. But the gulf between the European players of the game and those in the Far East is huge. The top European players, when put in a global league, rank way down in the 600s. So although it was still an impressive achievement, it was like building a driverless car that could beat a human driving a Ford Fiesta around a racetrack, then trying to challenge Lewis Hamilton for the Grand Prix. When the press in the Far East heard about Fang Hui's defeat, they were merciless in their dismissal of its significance. Indeed, when Fang Hui's wife contacted him in London after the news go out, she begged her husband not to go online. Naturally, he couldn't resist. It was not a pleasant experience to read how little the commenters in his home country thought of his credentials to challenge AlphaGo. Fang Hui credits his matches with AlphaGo with giving him a new insight into how to play the game. In the following months, his ranking shot up from 633 into the 300s. But it wasn't only Fang Hui who was learning. Every game AlphaGo plays refines its code and makes it a stronger player next time around. For its part, the DeepMind team felt confident enough after the victory to issue a challenge to Lee Sedol, 18-time international title winner and regarded universally as a formidable player of the game. The match would consist of 5 games scheduled from March 9 to March 15, 2016, to be played at the Four Seasons Hotel in Seoul and broadcast live via the internet. The winner would receive a prize of $1 million. Although the venue was announced publicly, the precise location within the hotel was kept secret and was isolated from noise. Sure. Note that AlphaGo was going to be disturbed by the chit-chat of the press and the whispers of the curious bystanders. It could assume a zen-like state of the concentration whenever it was praised. Sure. Sedol wasn't faced by the knowledge that the machine he was up against had beaten Fan Hui. A few weeks before the match, he made this prediction to reporters. Based on its levels seen in the match against Fan, I think I will win the game by a near landslide, at least this time. Although he was aware that AlphaGo was constantly learning and evolving, this did not concern him. Most people still felt that despite great inroads into the programming, an AI Go champion was still a distant goal. Remy Colom, the creator of the only software capable of playing Go at any high standard, a program called Crazy Stone, was predicting that computers would not beat the best humans at the game for at least another decade. As the data for the match approached, the team at DeepMind felt it needed someone to really stretch AlphaGo and to test it for any weakness. So Fan Hui was invited back to play the machine going into the last few weeks. Despite having suffered a 5-0 defeat and being mocked by the press back in China, he was keen to help out. Perhaps a bit of him felt that if he could help make AlphaGo good enough to beat Sedol, it would make his defeat less humiliating. What irony! As Fan Hui played, he could see that AlphaGo was extremely strong in some areas, but he managed to expose a weakness that the team was not aware of. Faced with the starting configurations, it seems incapable of assessing who had control of the game, often seeming to suffer from the delusion that it was winning when the opposite was true. If Sedol exploited this weakness, AlphaGo wouldn't just lose, it would appear extremely stupid. Members of a DeepMind team worked around the clock trying to fix this build spot. Eventually, they just had to lock down the code as it was. It was time to ship the hardware they were using to Seoul. The stage was set for the fascinating duel as the players, or at least one player, sat down on March 9 to play the first of the 5 games. Sure.